Hello, everyone. Welcome to Perspectives of Change. I'm your host, Sarika Kharbanda. And today we bring you a very special topic and a guest as again on Perspectives of Change. I'm calling this topic for today, Visual Vibes, Art as a Language. And of course, we're going to uncover what that really means. But to bring a lot of insights on this topic to all of us, we have on the show with us Roberto Ferraro. Can I say I pronounced your name correctly?
Yeah, you did an amazing effort, and thank you. Let's see if I pronounce your name correctly, Sarika.
Okay. Sarika is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So Roberto, I know you as, we met through the Management 3.0 space and, a couple of other opportunities that we've had to meet and finally agree that I want to bring you to this podcast. Thankfully, you agreed. So I'm so glad for that.
Thanks.
I have known you now to be like, a constant learner, experimenter, and a communicator. Yeah. And I would love for you to introduce yourself, which obviously is so much more than that, because whatever I've been observing and following your work on LinkedIn, there is so much more to that. So would you like to just, do some justice to your own introduction there?
Thank you. Thank you, Sarika. And first of all, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I admire a lot what you do, and we had a lot of fun in all your sessions. So it's a joy to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, I like what you said about the learning and the experimentation, because it's something that really, I think, it defines who I am and what I want to bring here in the world with the people I relate with. And I'm Italian, first of all. It's important to know no one's perfect, as you know. I live here in Spain since 20 years already, which is a long time. And in this time, I did many things professionally and personally. Professionally, I've been working mainly in commercial banking, in roles related to commercial planning, to very similar to project management with technology, with at the same time with the final internal customer, which is amazing. And on the personal side, I've been always interested in technology, in tinkering with stuff, with computers, with all the latest things that comes out. And this also gave me a lot of pleasure. and then in the personal side, of course, I have two wonderful kids, 8 and 6. We live here. They will not interrupt us today because they are at school at that moment. And actually, I'm very lucky to be where I am in a beautiful town and with a beautiful environment. So a privilege, actually.
Awesome. That's a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much, Roberto, for bringing that to us.
Thanks.
So tell us, I know, I've been following your work on LinkedIn. I've seen so much of, I don't know what to call it. And I'm afraid I don't want to use the wrong words there. The visual world that you communicate with. And I remember when we connected one time, it was on my article. I think it was on the Team Agreement article, wasn't it? That I published at Management 3.0.
Yes, exactly.
And you reached out to me because you wanted to share that article and you had made this amazing visual. And of course, for people who are listening and watching, I'm definitely going to share that post because I think I bookmarked it for myself. And I'm going to share that already in the show notes because it was a fantastic visual that told me so much about how differently I could see my own article, right? And I was like really amazed. So tell us how this journey of yours, the visual communication journey, how did that begin? Give us a backdrop around that to start with.
Thank you, Sarika. And thank you also for bringing this own perspective, which is also enriched me also because I hear also how it looks on the other side, what I do. And it's beautiful because it's the same and different people can see it in a different way. So it's, again, as you said, the different language and it's the same topic, different language. Yes. So this is also something that brings up how I started. Because when I was a kid, I already, as almost all kids. I draw a lot. I did comics and I did these funny things. Then when I became more serious, probably I stopped doing that. And it was a shame because it was so fun. And what happened is that I was in 2021. I was following already many topics around personal development, entrepreneurship, innovation, and I started to see some visuals on Twitter made from Janice Osolins, which is also an amazing illustrator and brilliant communicator. He's so good at capturing ideas and sharing in a simple way. And because of this, this was the age of the NFT craze, when everything you put NFT and it was like 10x the value, and then people realized that no, it doesn't work like that. But this is also something that connects with what I told about in the technology and experimenting. I was experimenting at that time with mining, with cryptocurrencies. And as an experiment, I tried to buy an NFT because, okay, at least let's see how is the process from the beginning to the end, so I can at least talk about it with some idea. And as a way to support his work, I purchased one of the NFT that Jenny has on the platform. And I also reached out to him and I said, "Oh, I bought this. I really like your work, and this is a way to support. And you are doing an amazing job, and I like what you do." And we started a conversation, actually, a very interesting conversation. And he asked me, "Are you interested in the course?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, you have a course. And it's included with the NFT. So if you buy the NFT, you have the course for explaining idea visually with me." And I said, "Yeah, why not? Let's try." So what happened is that I tried. I bought an iPad to have some fun also, especially. And initially it was for me and my daughter, which now my daughter, of course, doesn't use it anymore. It's mine. And then I started, and then I kept on. I liked it, and on and on and on. And so fast forward, now I have 700, 550 illustration and counting, and it's so fun. So this is the story. Again, connected to sharing things and reaching out to the people that do the things that I like, which is also something that I value.
Awesome. Oh, I had no idea about this journey. This is really, really nice. Oh, I think I want to know more. So, but tell me, was there like a hiccup when you started this learning journey, right? Were you, I don't know, what was challenging you? Was there anything that you had as your internal belief that challenged you and said, "No, Roberto," because a lot of people, including myself, when we start doing visuals, you know how everybody struggles. "I can't draw. I can't visualize that. This is not working for me. I'm not made for this." I mean, we can all come up with as many excuses as we can. I would like to call them excuses because I think we don't harness our complete potential. What did you struggle with? I'm sure there was some struggle in a good way, of course, because you are where you are now, enjoying the whole journey. So tell us.
Yeah, first of all, this is, as you said, this is a myth. Everyone can do it.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't have to be the perfect visual. For example, I don't know if you saw the TED Talk of Tim Urban with the master procrastinator. We can share the link because it's a very, very beautiful talk. And there is this draw of the panic monster, which counteracts the instant gratification monkey. And he paints this image of his brain. Of course, now we are giving the spoiler, so everyone who's going to saw the talk, okay, now you already told me the beautiful and the funny part. But anyway, he draws his brain very rough, very like sketches on whatever, and it's so clear, and you get, okay, this is the instant gratification monkey. I try to do my stuff, and then the monkey comes and starts flying and making mess, and then comes the panic monster the day after the deadline, and I say,
Exactly, yeah.
So we don't have to be perfect. It has to be what I say. It has to be authentic. It has to be something that we express. And of course, if you like detail, you want the percentage of the space here to be aligned, the colors, etc. At the same time, it's so personal that everyone can do it. And also there is a huge benefit, which is at the same time, I would not say it's a struggle. Maybe it's the challenge, is the most intense part of the process, which is thinking about how and what to visualize. It's not the actual work of drawing, because even if you want to draw something, so let's take, for example, this bottle. I could make a photo of the bottle, then I put it on the iPad, I put the transparency, and then I trace. I just trace like little kids. And then I do my own changes, and I have the vector. So you don't need to be an artist in the classical sense. Of course, I think everything is an art. It's an art of communication, the art of visualizing, of synthesizing. But the more important thing is that what do you want to communicate? What's the idea? And all the work, this is also that Jenny says always in his course, most of the work is in your mind. And then you take it out. So this work that you do in your mind also helps me to understand better the idea, because I have to get the concept and I see, what do I want to express? What the essence of that? How can I improve this? And also the beautiful things is that the same idea can be visualized in 10 different ways. And every person can get a different angle on that. And this is also the beautiful part, that it's never ending. So this is super fun.
Oh, I love that you have this one person that you're fully inspired with, and you've kicked off your journey because of that.
Yeah.
And it's really nice, the amount of inspiration I see that you are filled with, even when while talking about this. It's amazing. I'm wondering, because I know you as an experimenter, and now you've already spoken about the ish piece, right? You don't have to be perfect. It could be perfect-ish, So it's like close enough, good enough, let's move on. And that's the mindset you drive with, right? So tell us a little more. I mean, maybe we should explore this mindset of yours a little more, so to know how you function with these visuals. How do you experiment with them? Do you want to share a little more around that?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say the creative process, how it works. The first thing, again, this is an idea that I saw precisely today in a visual from another person who is a PJ Milani, which is also brilliant illustrator. And one of the first things is that first, when you consume content and ideas that you like. So when you, for example, when you listen to an audiobook, or when I'm commuting, or when I'm doing my exercises or whatever, if I listen and that's it, it's one thing. If I listen and then I take one of these or a note or whatever, it's something a little bit one step more, because it helps you to see certain things. And if you are, for example, if I say, look for all the red cars that you see on the street, you will start seeing red cars everywhere.
True.
It's the same with the idea. If I'm looking for certain things, if I'm paying attention and consuming intentionally, I absorb better the idea, because I have the intention of getting your idea, which then I want to communicate. So the first thing is consuming a lot of things that I like, which is, of course, many books, audiobooks, articles. Your article was one of these, for example. And the things that also other creators share. And all this, I put these ideas and I put it into a huge, now it's huge, database of ideas and backlog of ideas that I have in Notion. So I put all of the things, and then the beauty, at least for me, is that I always have more things that I want to share and illustrate than time. So when I sit down and have in the weekend, for example, which is usually the moment, or when I'm having a flight, which is 1 hour, half or so, I choose previously, I check my backlog and I say, what would I like to do? And I pick the things that resonate most at that moment. So it's always a joy when I do it. It's not like, oh, what I'm going to do. I have to post every day. No, 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 no. If at any moment feels like a chore, I say, I'm doing something wrong. So let's go back. And then the another thing is that, okay, just keep doing, keep doing, keep doing, and with time, that all these archive keeps growing. And then what happens is that you can combine things. For example, today I had a rose in a, in a in a vase in the kitchen, and it was getting dry after a few days. And so I thought, oh yeah, I could make a rose, a shining rose, and then a whimpering rose, like very dark. And I already have an illustration with a rose. So it's as easy as taking the rose, making a few adaptation, and then I have the new one. And so the combination, every time you add one more thing, it can combine with everything that you do. And of course, the combination are infinite. And then the last thing, which is one of the things that I enjoy the most, is when I post something and I share something on LinkedIn, for example, and I also share things that I already shared, which is, of course, you don't have to do everything from scratch every time, because at the same time, I would like to see some of, let's say, the classic of other illustrators, of other people. It's time. There are timeless ideas that you can repeat. Of course, you cannot repeat every day the same, but every 4 months, 5 months, if you repeat one or two things, no problem. And there is something also that in this community we say is that if someone remember the past illustration, is because they liked it.
Yeah.
And if they don't remember, they don't remember. So anyway, it's a win. And how do I like to do it? I usually take the post, the first post, I put it in the database. So I have the post. I go to the post. I see all the comments, all the conversation that were in the original, the previous one, and I see what I can add. If there is something that can change or mention perhaps one of the people who initiated the conversation. And so every time it's a little bit different. And it's a way to rediscover some of the conversation that I enjoyed in the past. So this is all the process from the idea and the dumping of idea until the iteration on previous thing. And it's really fun.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's the whole creative process. So for all our viewers and listeners, I think this is an amazing, totally still like an artist creative process. So this is beautiful, really. I mean, I think one of the most important points that I learned now is it's very intentional, right? You have to be intentional about it and not feel like doing it as a task, because it has to bring you joy. And that's what makes it special, right? Because then you will want to invest in it and not spend on it. There's so much of a difference in just the two words. If I say investing into something and, oh, I spent something, I'm like, that was nice. And I see you investing into this reusability, taking two different things or even similar, just tweaking it a little to make a new item out of it. So many takeaways for me just listening to that piece that you just shared. Really nice.
Thank you, Sarika. And now that you say investing, it connects with another idea which has nothing to do with investing, which is the lottery. There is one idea that I get from, I don't remember who I got it from, but now I make it mine, which is the idea of the lottery ticket, which is treat everything that we share as a lottery ticket. Not because we want to win something, because of course doesn't have an immediate goal. So what I share, I do it because I like it, because I think that it has value for me, and I would like to see the same thing in others. And I also think it's respectful of the time of the people. So when I share something, I do it with 100% of this principle, let's say. But the idea of the lottery ticket is that every interaction, you don't ever know who are you going to reach with this and who may be interested. And if you don't share it, you will never know. So it's like having infinite lottery tickets, not in the sense of I want to win the lottery, but in the sense of I want to expose myself to this kind of relationship, opportunities, whatever comes. And you said in the beginning the vibe, you said the word vibe, visual vibes.
Yes.
And it's also connected with a beautiful metaphor and phrase that I learned in my coaching training, which was your vibe attracts your tribe,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is
Lovely
the
one.
idea that you share something that you like, of course, and it's authentic to you. And again, as we said in the beginning, when we talk about the repetition, if someone don't like it, they will probably say nothing or ignore it. If someone likes it, maybe they say something, maybe you start a conversation, and maybe you have a way to connect with someone who also likes the same stuff as you. And this is what happened with us. We
Exactly.
knew each other because I reached out and I said, "Oh, I like what you do." I shared that, and then of course, I followed you. We went into the workshop, and this is the beauty. And we also today we have so many opportunities to connect with people all over the world in so few time, and this is one of the greatest opportunity. At the same time, it's a challenge because you cannot have infinite time.
Very true. Very true. I mean, there's so many things I think I can just go on. I'm just cognizant of the amount of time also that we have. So
Mm.
I want to ask probably just my main questions that are popping up in my head. And one of them is we spoke about a little bit of challenges. I'm curious, what was it that enabled you the most in your whole environment, to move in that direction and pursue this journey of yours? Because you are where you are today and you're doing an amazing job today. So tell us a little more what enabled you and brought you to where you are. Maybe some characteristics, some traits that, I don't know, some principles that you were hardlined on, or what was it? I don't know. I'm just guessing now.
Mm. Well, first of all, I have to say I'm very lucky to be who I am, to live where I live. We have infinite opportunities. So we probably are in the top 0 point, I don't know how many zero of lucky people in the world. So this is also having access to resources, access to knowledge, uh, you name it. So this is also a great starting point. And at the same time, what I think it helps me a lot is doing the things for their own sake, for for having fun
Mm.
and going very deep into something. My parents always said that I jump from one thing to the other. Well, maybe they're my parents, perhaps they know better, but I see it as going deep into something, you take it, and then you have it in your backpack. It's part of you. And you go deep into something else and you take it. And it's not, for example, okay, I'm an illustrator. Yeah, of course. And I am also a project leader. I'm also a father. I love walking. I love nature. I love computers. I love AI. I'm a programmer, many things. So all these things, I think that in sum, they combine and they make us who we are. And so we are unique because of all of this. And the thing that I feel that helps me the most is going deep into something and then keeping it and going deep into the other. And this is also a big challenge at the same time because I would love to go deep into so many things and I cannot. So I said, okay, I have to manage my FOMO and I have not to commit more than one big project and two side projects at the same time, with at least they have to be also some connection to my work, which is also a thing that I firmly believe. If what I do outside of, let's say, the formal job has some benefit, or I can take some of the learning into my job, this also helps me because in this way I'm not waiting for someone to notice me and say, oh yeah, you're very talented, you're amazing, I want to train in this. Well, I can also do it on my own, and of course then I can tell, and I can, by being interested in these things, I can also be faster in the learning.
Awesome. I think a very linked question that now comes to my mind is because of the work you do, how do you how do you bring visualization into your project lead work that you do as a project leader? Okay, let me rephrase the question. Maybe better phrased is, how do you bring in this whole art of visualization or concept abstraction, call it whatever, or the visual vibes, literally, into your work as a project leader? Maybe you create project reports with that. I don't know. Tell me.
Well, honestly, Sarika, I don't do that too much. I
Okay.
do it, yeah, because this is something that I would love to do more, and I will do more. And at the same time, every time that we have an opportunity, I sleep one or two things illustration, or yeah, because it's also a way not to take ourselves too seriously. Who said that presentation have to be 50 slides, PowerPoints that no one is going to read ever, and you'd spend 3 days doing manual checking, and so. And I'm a big believer in this. And actually, of course, I use PowerPoint. Everyone uses PowerPoint, almost everyone, and. I always try to get to the minimum and put some image here or there. But okay, at the same time, sometimes you have to give some numbers. So it's a balance. It's a balance. It depends on the context. And at the same time, as I said, it's a way to put some humor into the day to day, which
Hmm.
is always a good thing, and not to take us too seriously.
So true. Yeah, I love that. Okay. Um, Maybe another question that comes to my mind, and now I'm getting close to wrapping up, of course. And I don't want to wrap this conversation up. This is so amazing. I think I can learn so much already just listening to you. And maybe, who knows, at the end of this conversation, I might draw out something and say, was this,
Mm.
was this what you were trying to say? And yeah, but of course,
Oh, I would love
I would not commit to it because I'm not going to try.
it.
I need some more, let's say, not inspiration, but I need some more training to be able to get to that stage, that basic stage to do something. For now, doodling works for me. Okay. Okay, so let me ask you, if if there was something else about your journey that you believe our audience should know, what would you want to share? I still have one more question which I want to wrap this up with, but for now, if anything that from the journey that so far we've discussed, but
Mm.
if something really important, a key message that you want to give out of your journey, or maybe how
Yeah.
it personally transformed you, I don't know.
Yeah. Perhaps there is one thing which is something that I realized, I hope, at a good time, which is that human connection and human relationships are much, much more important than the technical perfection. And you can do something like perfect. Wow, this is super. There's nothing to object. At the same time, if you don't communicate it, if you don't talk to your internal customer, if you don't share it, if you don't ask for feedback, if people are not involved, it's useless because no one is working. And this applies in work and the family and every situation. We cannot do the things on our own, and we cannot just think that our truth and our work is the best. So uh, this is one of the realizations that I have earlier in my career, and it also helped me a lot to realize it, and not to leave, of course, the technical part. I'm not saying that technical part is not important. I'm saying that you have to do a good job and you have to do things well and always improve and not just settle for mediocre work. You should always try to do it a little bit more, a little bit better. But at the same time, don't forget that there are people at the other side. If you're talking of work, and also if you're talking about communicating, we're communicating with people. We're not communicating with uh, an audience or whatever. There are people. So and this is also one of the challenges, perhaps, that we have with all these accelerating technologies to keep the human connection, keep the human touch, and perhaps even do it more.
Very powerful message. Yeah. Really nice. And maybe that actually gets me to my very last question. Oh no, second last still. Sorry. Uh, what if, yeah, what might be maybe two or three advice nuggets that you want to leave for our viewers and listeners? Because this has been a very powerful talk. I've been touched by a lot of, especially the last message that you shared, because it's a very humane approach.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'd love for our viewers and listeners to have at least two or three advice nuggets. What if they wanted to onboard such a journey like yours, and maybe some advice nuggets on that?
Mm, yeah. Oh, what I would say first is maybe it's connected to the previous one, the relationship. I would say to have difficult conversations, first of all. Don't shy away from this difficult conversation and from uncomfortable things. And this is easier said than done sometimes, but we can train ourselves. We can at least we can be accountable with ourselves that when you want to say something and you don't. So this would be the first, and connected to this will be like I don't know if the word not caring too much about what people thinks, because if we think too much of what would they think if I do this, if I do that, we will never start. We will never do anything. And for example, now we can think about uh, that I'm literally exposing all my idea, my values, the things I like to the whole world, and 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 this is okay because again, if I think if someone don't like it, perfectly fine. If who likes it, maybe they will connect with me. So it's great, and this is another thing. And then the third thing would be to reach out and to say what we like, because many times happens that you talk with someone and you say, "Oh, I really like what you did," and then we discover something that if we didn't reach out, we would have never knew. And we miss opportunities. Again, if this starts from our genuine interest from our values, from what we like, we have nothing to lose. We reach out to the person, we say, I like what you do, I love it. And if you don't have any second intention, it's just like, okay, it's appreciation. And of course, then if you have a conversation, this is great, but it's not the purpose. It's just like, I reach out, I tell what I like, and who knows? Again, the lottery ticket. And on the other side, it's beautiful to know that people likes what you do, even if they have, and you have no expectation out of that. For example, when I see someone who does an illustration inspired on one of the things that I did and tells me, this is amazing. They say, whoa, I had an impact. And this person had an inspiration thanks to what I did. And he or she did a thing. And many times, it also serves an inspiration for me. So it's a win always. So this would be if I would take out something, it would be like 100% this.
Beautiful. Now, I've actually made notes of those 3 points because I want to say those again. These are very impactful. Having difficult conversations, and I think when you say not caring too much about what people think, basically don't worry about who's judging you out there, right? So
Exactly.
just
The
it's okay.
validation, external, internal validation, all this.
Because and I fully resonate with this one because it's only you who can judge yourself because you're the best judge for yourself. Just, decide that. Nobody else can judge you. I cannot judge Roberto's work. Roberto cannot judge my work, but we can be appreciative or just say, if you don't like it, it's okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, don't be afraid to be out there and show your work. It's really critical. I love that point. Of course, having difficult conversations. The very first one was like the most impactful point because that's where most of us shy away, right? And if you have those already, I think the world is available for everything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And the third one, reach out and say what you like. I mean, just let's take our example too, right? You reached out asking if you could even, if I like that visual or you could share that. And then I was like, interesting. I never thought of this like this. And then I was like, oh, I like his work, Of course, I like this visual, Roberto. And then I give you feedback and then we exchange notes. I think it's just about reaching out, saying what you didn't like or liked, and that's okay. It's totally
Yes.
amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome points. To all our viewers and listeners, this is super impactful, at least for me, listening to this right now from Roberto. And I wish we could have made this a live conversation with people pouring in their feedback. But having said that, people, if you have any questions, Roberto and I are very, very human, and we always find time for coffee chats or to connect with people in person. In person, unless you're in our own cities, of course. So online, when I say in person, it's almost online, visual, virtual.
Yes, almost.
Yes. And yeah, in fact, it already feels that I know you, Roberto. I mean, just a few interactions and I'm like, I think I know him. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, we have to add the in person sometimes. Barcelona or India, we will make it happen. Yeah.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I have too many of those on my list already. So yes, it's going to happen. Roberto, tell us, maybe one other question to wrap this up with. Tell us if anybody wanted to reach out directly to you, is there an email ID they can write to, or is there a website that we can point them to?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I'm on LinkedIn. I also have a website where I all share all my different projects and things. But the main channel would be, I would say, LinkedIn. And I would suggest perhaps to send a comment. Just not connect, but send a comment like, oh, I saw your interview, your conversation with Sarika. I like this. As we said, reach out and say what you like this. It would be a pleasure.
Awesome. Awesome. And I'm anyways going to drop the link to your website in the show notes too, and your LinkedIn also, so people can reach out directly to you and comment too. And of course, people feel free to comment in the videos, comments, so just feel free to do that. And I'm sure you're going to like the video. So remember to like and subscribe. So like the video and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to keep you updated of what's coming. So as a wrap up, thank you so much, Roberto. I've totally loved this conversation.
Thank
And as we spoke earlier, I'd love to have you on more such conversations soon this year. Looking forward to that.
Looking forward. It will be very fun, as was this one. Thank you again.
Thank you. And to all our listeners and viewers, thank you so much for listening and watching. I will see you yet again with another awesome speaker and another awesome topic. Take care till then. Bye for now.